that I hope for is to go to America.
Tonight on the Brokaw Report, immigration, the good, the bad, the illegal.
What is your goal, Noah?
I would like to be the #1 taxpayer in America.
The #1 taxpayer in America?
Why not?
Which would mean you'd be the richest man in America.
Not only that.
It was very nice to live here, but today is not good anymore.
We have to turn them right around, send them back to Mexico, and then they just come right back and hit the border again and try to cross a second time.
There is always a way, you know. I'll be in San Diego tonight.
Here is Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. This nation of immigrants always has had a split personality when it comes to who gets into America, in how many numbers, and what they bring to this nation of many colors and cultures. We love the symbolism of the Statue of Liberty and the powerful passions of those lines from Emma Lazarus. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. What a wonderful sentiment. But when faced with the reality of immigration, almost every generation has set sentiment aside and replaced it with impatience and anger. You're tired, you're poor, your huddled masses, forget it. We've got enough people. At various times we've said, no more Chinese, no more Irish, no more Italians, no more Mexicans, Salvadorans, whatever. Well, we're at that place again. Immigration is once again an explosive issue for many reasons. Illegal immigrants have been making news lately. The World Trade Center bombing.
There are developments, and they are happening fast and furiously, of course, as we know.
Yesterday, the FBI arrested Mohammed Salameh, a 26-year-old Palestinian from Jersey City.
The arrest of Mohammed Salameh is only the most recent example of the increased presence of a substantial terrorist element here in the United States.
It is particularly troubling that Ms. Baird knowingly employed 2 illegal aliens and failed to pay their Social Security taxes.
It was a violation of the law to hire undocumented workers. Our decision to hire the couple was wrong, and I deeply regret it.
If confirmed, vigorously and fairly and completely enforce the employer sanctions provisions?
Quite honestly,
of the immigration?
I was acting at that time really more as a mother than as someone who would be sitting here designated to be Attorney General.
It's called the Zoe Baird problem. Hiring illegals to help around the house. They have no papers. The employer pays no taxes. Now, obeying immigration laws, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, is the new litmus test for public officials.
We had domestic help, but they were always legal citizens, and we have paid the Social Security taxes.
More than 50,000 Haitians escaping poverty and political oppression sailed here in the past 2 years. President Bush sent many of them home. But during the campaign, candidate Clinton said the Haitians had good reason to be here.
And I wouldn't return the Haitian boat people, the immigrants, until some shred of democracy was restored there.
As Haiti's military rule tightened, thousands more tried to escape, risking their lives in the high seas and heading for Florida. Then, President Clinton changed his mind.
As we work to restore democracy in Haiti, I urge Haitians to remain in Haiti and not to leave by boat. Those who do leave Haiti for the United States by boat will be stopped and directly returned by the United States Coast Guard.
The truth is, to paraphrase another line of Emma Lazarus, we have always lifted our lamp beside the golden door, selectively. At various times, we've tried to keep out Southern or Western Europeans or Asians, the undereducated, the sick, and the politically unpopular. In the last 6 years, 2 immigration bills have set quotas for legal entries and established provisions for the admission of political refugees and the relatives of earlier immigrants, and they set up an amnesty procedure so illegal immigrants already here could become citizens. The bills carried tough enforcement procedures. It was all designed to be tough but humane. However, it wasn't long before immigrants found holes in those laws as large as the holes in the border fences.
What's in there? You're going eastbound through there?
They come by land. They come by sea. They come by air.
You have no documents with you?
No. One single line.
They just never stop coming. Millions.
Why are you coming to the United States today? A refugee.
With the help of smugglers using false documents and phony nationalities, aliens illegally slip through New York's JFK airport every day. And according to U.S. immigration laws, anyone can enter the United States if they know what to say.
He's telling me that the Indian police harass him. He said I should get a political asylum. Political stay.
Gurnak, Jaspal, and Raghubir arrived from Punjab in India, and they all want the same thing.
They speak no English, yet they know the word political asylum.
This is how they get it.
Because of the war, my father and my mother died.
Joyce Warderson claims she's from Liberia. She wants to live and work in the United States because she fears for her life at home.
How long do you want to stay here in the United States?
Forever.
Joyce bought a phony passport to get her out of Africa, but smugglers told her to destroy it before she came through immigration in New York.
You got it? You got it? Here's the document. The smuggler who the family had paid told her, ditch the document. Okay, now why is it all ripped up now?
Put it to the toilet.
You put it into the toilet?
Yes.
Okay, who told you to put it into the toilet?
I'm afraid that is why.
When you left Liberia,
Yeah.
or did you go to Ghana, or?
No, the Ghana, I don't know the Ghana.
Okay. Immigration agents don't believe her story.
Okay, and look right here at the light.
They believe she left Ghana to get a job in the U.S., and smugglers told her the sure way to get in is to say that she's from war-torn Liberia.
Who was Sergeant Doe?
They ask her a question that anyone from Liberia should be able to answer.
You never heard of Sergeant Doe?
I don't know the name.
Vous connaissez pas Sergeant Doe?
I don't think she's from Liberia.
Nonetheless, she is entitled to a hearing.
You can either see the judge, or you can go back to Liberia. Okay, you want to see the judge. Okay.
But it is unlikely she'll ever see a judge. Court calendars and holding facilities are full, so agents give Joyce and the other illegals hearing dates and release them.
Okay, buddy. Take a bag.
Immigration agents don't expect to see them again. Of the 10,000 who claimed asylum in this airport last year, less than a third showed up for their hearings. The rest now are somewhere in the United States.
Next, please. Next.
We believe that this is one of the new ways that Chinese are being smuggled into the United States.
At Los Angeles International Airport, Agent James Dury is constantly amazed by the schemes of illegal immigrants.
Investment immigrants? How much?
These Chinese men invested in businesses in Honduras. In return for their money, they got Honduran passports and tickets to Tegucigalpa via Los Angeles. It was no investment. It was a smuggling scam. The Chinese got off the plane in Los Angeles, hid in the airport, and they were ready to run for the city when they were caught.
It would be my guess that at least one or two of them are going to abscond.
We're seizing the boat.
They want to get crew off first.
Another new technique, smuggling by sea. Last year, 8 tankers loaded with illegal Chinese immigrants were captured on the east and west coast. Some of these desperate Chinese paid as much as $30,000 to get here. Others don't have enough money, so they sold themselves into virtual slavery to book passage. Even though they stopped 8 boats loaded with Chinese, the Immigration and Naturalization Service says at least 10 others got past them.
Did you get a cross street on that? We had a report of multiple aliens going up 10th Street.
But the overwhelming number of illegal aliens enter the U.S. by land.
Run across and follow. One of the agents has spotted a group. They're running along that water area with a...
It's 11 p.m. in San Diego, California. Immigration agents search for aliens along the U.S. border to Mexico.
They're going to be pretty hard to locate now because they got to jump on us.
Agent Steve Keene is one of 80 agents who patrols 66 miles of border. 80 agents against thousands of illegals flooding across that border.
They got away. They made it.
The odds are unbeatable.
It's an impossible situation, and it goes on all night long, night after night, week after week, and all year.
It starts at sunset. Men, women, children, most of them Mexicans, line up along the 14 miles of fence dividing Tijuana, Mexico, and San Diego. They wait. They wait for the right moment when the agents change shifts to slip under the fence.
Hi, American people. I gotta go to Santa Ana. Goodbye.
Or to climb over.
We'll have to get him on the way back. Just pulled up right now.
Many are assisted by high-paid guides known as coyotes.
If you're not close to 3.
Some run up the long stretch of beach. That's the easiest way to get in.
You see a whole bunch more that are north. Looks like they've gotten away.
Many run right onto the interstate. They know the agents will not follow them there.
And we don't get on the freeway to apprehend them because they would just blindly run in front of traffic.
They do know how to beat the system.
Real easy.
And they are not afraid.
There is always a way, you know. I'll be in San Diego tonight.
Sometimes the agents win.
Go ahead. Son, I got 2 in custody now.
On an average night, they catch 1,500 aliens. But altogether, it's a losing proposition.
I have to hear more right over here.
¿Nadie tiene papeles de inmigración, verdad?
No. Probably for every one person that we apprehend, 2 to 3 get away.
Go ahead.
Because we have one group in custody, another one is running by us just a few hundred feet away. We need more personnel here on the border in order to seal this off and shut it off effectively.
The first big group is moving up on you right now.
Do you sometimes feel that you're involved in a hopeless exercise turning back this human wave?
The situation we're in is we have to turn them right around, send them back to Mexico, and then they just come right back and hit the border again and try to cross a second time.
The INS estimates that in 1992, more than 2 million illegals made it across the border. Sooner or later, do these people not take on human forms, or they just seem like objects that are moving across the border to you?
It's a mosaic of people coming across the border, but there still has to be, and there still is, compassion and understanding for the plight that the people are coming from.
Florentino Tapio Ramos, leader of the small town of Chinantla, Mexico, 5 hours south of Mexico City, says his people leave for the U.S. when they're 17.
No vivimos de aguas de riego.
There hasn't been much rain in the past 11 years. People have no work. The poverty is terrible. Unable to find work at home, Felipe Ponce crossed the border and found his way to Brooklyn, New York. For 3 years, Felipe worked illegally for a moving company, sending his family $300 a month. That money bought food, built this house, and contributed to a town water system and an elementary school.
What is your name? My name is Eva.
But few want to live here anymore. Now, 70% of the town lives in the United States, most of them in New York, selling flowers, working in restaurants, and sweatshops. When they return to Chinantla to visit family, the president asked them to stay, but they say they have a good road in the U.S., and they're going to stay on it. This boy plans to go to New York illegally, of course, when he is just 15, to make money. Like the boys on the border, these boys are not afraid of U.S. immigration laws. They'll be hidden by relatives, they'll find jobs, buy false working papers, and slip into a new identity.
They're going out the back. Get to the gate. Go, 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 go.
The INS continues to crack down on employers of illegal aliens. Here, a Los Angeles clothing factory. But they can't catch up in a race where they're so far behind. This raid caught 77 illegals. But by afternoon, the busload was released to the Mexico border, and by nightfall, many were crossing over again.
When will you try to return?
Yeah, this night.
Tonight?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see you tonight?
Yeah.
Fact, 200,000 illegal immigrants enter the United States each year. Fact, a sixth of the population of the island of Jamaica now is in the United States, and many came illegally. When we return, legal immigrants who aren't very popular with their neighbors.
They inhabit our parks, they make them dirty, and they make life miserable for us.
A night for Excedrin PM.
Why can't I turn off this day?
Daddy said I can.
You're late.
No receipt, no refund.
My head aches and I can't sleep.
You want Excedrin PM. Strong aspirin-free headache medicine you can feel good about, plus a gentle ingredient to help you sleep.
They're sending me to Paris, alone.
Turn off the day with Excedrin PM, and rest assured it's aspirin-free.
The solid granite gray of Wall Street. The boundless blue of a Paris morning. The radiant reds of an Australian sunrise. In celebration of a new style of service at home and abroad, we now embrace the colors of the world as the new colors of United Airlines. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
Why is Red Lobster's new steak and 19 shrimp so delicious? Well, first we splash it, spice it, sizzle it, sear it, and serve it so you can savor it. Introducing Scampi, fried shrimp, and our new tender top sirloin, all three together just $10.99. So slice it, spritz it, dip it, don't miss it. Steak and 19 shrimp, only $10.99 tonight at Red Lobster.
Tuesday, quick tax refunds. It's so fast and easy, thousands have learned how to cheat the IRS.
They came in on a Monday, they got their check on a Tuesday. It seemed like an easy way to obtain money.
And it's being called America's newest crime wave.
It's a sweetheart deal for anybody who wants to break the law.
Ryan Ross investigates. Dateline, Tuesday.
And now an important announcement from L.A. Law. Thursday, L.A. Law will return with all new episodes. Episodes produced by the creative team behind its most successful years.
I would expect either a commitment or a resignation.
Remember when L.A. Law was your favorite show? Starting Thursday, it will be again.
She was 5 months pregnant, out shopping for groceries.
And a man put a gun in my back.
Crime victims, tomorrow on NBC Nightly News.
When it comes to dollars and cents, immigration controversies often turn conventional values upside down. Conservative business groups favor open immigration. They want a steady stream of hungry and appreciative workers. Liberal unions want to restrict immigration. They worry about their members' jobs. Ethnic organizations campaign for quotas to be lifted so more immigrants can enter. But again, the irony, often the members of those organizations disagree. They don't want anyone else here, including their own countrymen. They don't want the competition for jobs. They worry about crime and higher taxes. Washington Heights, New York City.
Break it up now.
Overcrowded, drug-ridden, crime-ridden. Home to some 200,000 Dominicans, the largest concentration of Dominicans outside the Dominican Republic. Dominican-born Ralph Toribio sees this neighborhood, his neighborhood, at its worst. How much of your work involves trauma, people doing harm to other people?
I say a good 40% of that is violent trauma-related jobs.
Hey, it's your beauty.
We spent just a few hours with Ralph, and already a drug dispute and a brutal fight.
¿Cómo tú te llamas?
Washington Heights has more drug arrests and more murders than any other police precinct in New York City. Do you have any reservations about raising your family in this kind of an environment?
Oh, I sure do. I don't think my family would have a chance. It's not what it was 20 years ago.
It was beautiful. It was very nice to live here, but today is not good anymore.
Washington Heights was once haven for another group of immigrants, German Jews. Free from Nazi persecution, they were eager to assimilate.
Once I was here, within 1 year, I spoke English as well as I do today. Without anybody helping, we pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps. Nobody gave us anything. Nobody would have thought of welfare.
Some longtime residents are fearful and resentful of the newcomers.
They go on welfare. They inhabit our hospitals. They inhabit our parks. They make them dirty. And they make life miserable for us.
European immigrants are the quiet minority here now. 3/4 of Washington Heights is Hispanic, mostly Dominicans who have come to America in the last 15 years. Hundreds of Dominican-owned businesses thrive here. But housing is in short supply, unemployment is high, and 1/3 of the residents live below the poverty line. Aleida Vasquez came looking for a better life 19 years ago. Her husband left the family and went back to Santo Domingo 7 years later. She says she stayed for the children, so they can better themselves by going to American schools. Aleida has 5 children. If they all finish high school, the cost to taxpayers just to educate them, well over $250,000. She's never worked a steady job. Aleida depends on more than $12,000 in welfare, food stamps, and Medicaid benefits that she gets each year. It feels very bad to be supported by someone else, she says. She wishes she could support herself. 19 years in America, and Aleida doesn't feel like an American. She speaks no English. She has only Dominican friends. She says she is rejected by Americans, and she longs for her native country. Today, Aleida's oldest son, Frankie, is taking a test to become an American citizen.
Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln.
For Aleida, that could be a way of getting some of her relatives into the United States.
I want you to sign your name on this line by the red X.
For Frankie, that could mean fulfilling his dream of becoming a police officer. But it will never change his identity.
I can't deny what I am. I always say I'm Dominican.
Pastor?
Okay, whatever, hon. Give me the notification.
Ralph Toribio became an American citizen 5 years ago. Let me be somebody who says, hey, listen, the problem with this country is we got too many immigrants coming in here with no resources. They're bringing their drug habits and their bad habits with them, and they only want to stick among themselves. How would you answer somebody like that?
Well, I understand that. We have to be more selective in people who enter the country. I believe we should take care of Americans first.
In ancient Laotian folk song about a golden water lily, Muan Sararat sings with her daughter Mary, if any bee harms you, I'll be there to take care of you. Mary's brother, Vienne, learns the art of squirrel hunting from their father, Kale. They hope to put some extra food on the dinner table tonight. No, this is not Laos. This is Storm Lake, Iowa. Iowa sends 22 million hogs to market each year, and about 3 million of them are slaughtered right here in Storm Lake at this Iowa Beef Processors Plant, IBP. Muan and Kale work at IBP. 1/4 of the plant's workers are Southeast Asian immigrants, refugees. They work hard for low pay. They have jobs that used to belong to Americans.
Hard work, but we got paid well for what we did. We at least made a good living.
That was 12 years ago when the plant was owned by High Grade Foods. Ted Kramer worked there. The strong union and good working conditions drew local workers and kept them.
How are you? Good. No turnover at all, really. We were just one big happy family out there.
But High Grade couldn't compete with the new assembly line efficiency that was taking over the meatpacking industry, and in 1982, sold to IBP.
The way they made the community think that they were going to come in and they were going to keep the workforce around here, you know, and It just didn't happen that way.
IBP hired less than 1/4 of High Grade's 500 employees. Ted Kramer started his own business here in Storm Lake. Some workers left town to find jobs, and some still are unemployed.
California? Everybody's from California.
Like many businesses that hire unskilled labor, IBP turned to immigrants and migrants desperate for work. A decade later, plant manager Bob O'Brien still greets new recruits every week. The turnover rate about 50% a year.
We, in fact, are the most efficient and most profitable pork plant in the world.
Juan and Kale work a 6-day week. Each make about $17,000 a year. Adjusted for inflation, that's about 1/3 of what the high-grade workers made. And that makes Iowa State Senator Al Sturgeon angry.
They should have raised those wages and paid people a decent wage to make it the type of job that people in the local community would do. But instead, they dump this tremendous burden on the local communities and suffocate their tax base.
Even though IBP employs about 1,400 workers, almost 3 times as many as high grade, there are problems for the community.
Who would like to show me where Missouri is? Bien.
Storm Lake has the highest per capita property tax rate in the area. Since IBP went into business here, the number of school children who speak limited English or no English at all went up 10 times. It now totals 13% of the student body.
Hello, Crocky, that muggle lump.
The cost to educate them, close to $1 million. Food stamp costs have risen 260% over 10 years. Medicaid eligibility is up 48%.
It's day to day. It's month to month. It's eviction notice from eviction notice. So that's what it's essentially done, is create working poor.
My dad likes to, my mom likes to work over there because it's easy, she says.
Juan and Kale have only good things to say about IBP. They want to keep their jobs. But meatpacking is hard and dangerous work. Both have suffered wrist injuries. Kale has required surgery. At IBP in Storm Lake last year, there were almost 7 job-related injuries or illnesses for every 10 workers. IBP says they stress safety and offer good, steady jobs, but Senator Sturgeon disagrees.
They try to make it a miserable environment, and if you get close to any type of decent seniority, they want you out of there. They want to use you up for 5 years, spit you out and throw you out in the street and bring some other individual there to go through the same thing. My feeling's always been that if we inflicted the same level of violence on any other group in our society, people would be appalled and they wouldn't tolerate it for a minute.
The Syrorots and other grateful immigrants say they're treated well at the plant. It's better than anything they knew in Laos. They're willing to work hard and suffer injuries 12,000 miles from their home in a place for their strangers where they don't speak the language, so that someday their children can become real Americans. The United States is going to look a lot different in the 21st century. In fact, at the last census, the United States population was 80% white, 12% African American, 9% Hispanic, almost 3% Asian. Forecast. In the year 2050, it's estimated that the United States will be 72% white, 16% African American, 21% Hispanic, nearly 11% Asian. When we come back, Chicago's melting pot. It continues to cook a spicy multinational stew.
The first thing I saw in America it was very different from Russians, smiles. Russian people forgot how to smile.